I think it's pretty safe to say that by far the most important Star Wars film by Disney and Lucasfilm is of course Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, not just because it's 40 plus years in the making, but also because it's the very Star Wars film that will either agree with fans or not agree with fans and will determine the future of the franchise. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 that a lot of fans are very skeptical about is exactly how Rey is going to be utilized in this story in The Rise of Skywalker by J.J. Abrams. Of course, there are a handful of fans out there who are very unhappy with how the character was used in the sequel trilogy so far. On the other hand, there are fans that are very excited to see exactly how this character is going to evolve by director J.J. Abrams in Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the big plans by Disney and Lucasfilm, this is where things begin to get very intriguing for Episode 9, that I honestly disagree with, so let's get right into it. Now, specifically, it's described that throughout many of the rewrites and reshoots of the film, is that many adjustments to the second and third acts of the film have been made during the months of August, September, and October. It's explained that Disney has a plan in place for the character of Rey in the third act of the film, during the rewrites of many of the Palpatine scenes, where it's explained that J.J. Abrams had an idea in place for a very important scene in the third act that was eventually filmed that includes a vital part to Rey's story. It's explained that Disney and Lucasfilm plans to make Rey stronger than how Anakin Skywalker was during the events of Revenge of the Sith to allow her to realistically fight Palpatine on an even scale in the third act of the film. It's explained that this strategy by Disney is something that George Lucas did not agree with, and that George proposed Disney and Lucasfilm to come up with a better plan. A part of that plan was by making Rey stronger than Anakin Skywalker by combining the powers of all the Force ghosts like Anakin himself, Luke, Yoda, Leia, Kenobi, and other generations of Jedi that become a part of Rey, allowing her to become more powerful to take on Palpatine, and that in the scene, she is said to be stronger than Anakin ever was in Episode 3. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why I myself personally completely disagree with this. And this is just my point of view. If you guys agree or disagree with me, that's fine. That's part of being human. That makes a lot of sense. But one thing I will say here is that when I look at Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, I really feel that they should really have, at the very minimum, Kylo Ren to be the one to fight Palpatine in a one-on-one duel. Now, this particular scenario is actually said to allow Rey to become stronger than that of Anakin Skywalker. And the thing about the Star Wars sequel trilogy is that we've seen Rey have all these different powers, defeating Kylo Ren endlessly, to the point where Kylo Ren has never won a fight against Rey, technically speaking, right? Not in the sense like how it was in the original trilogy where Darth Vader defeated Luke. It was never anything like that. You know, nothing like that at all. Or even like how Anakin Skywalker was even defeated by Dooku in Episode 2. So far, Rey hasn't really had a crucial defeat like that, and I feel that a lot of that has all to do with exactly who she really is in the film. So the fact that they are making her stronger than Anakin ever was, I don't know about you, but I find it to be very unfair for the character of Anakin Skywalker that was created by George Lucas, technically, back in the 1980s when he was exploring Return of the Jedi and dropped the big line of dialogue, Anakin Skywalker. So, what I like about that, though, also, is that this includes Force Ghosts. That's the only thing that I like about this, is that this includes Force Ghosts becoming a part of Rey. But what I don't agree with is that this technically allows Rey to become stronger than that of Anakin Skywalker. I feel like that, in my opinion, right now, is that at the very least, Anakin should remain as the most powerful Jedi there is in the Skywalker saga, where you have Rey here, right, who just steps into the sequel trilogy. Technically speaking, Rey has only been about this Jedi training for like 1 year, since The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi have no time jump, and now The Rise of Skywalker, I should say, is only taking place 1 year after the events of Episode 9, or Episode 8, I should say. So let that sink in for a second. If you look at The Force Awakens when Rey is first introduced to the Force and, you know, kind of using the lightsaber, that was only 1 year ago in the Star Wars universe. Not our time, obviously, but in the Star Wars universe, that was only 1 year. worth of training for Rey, from when she was on Jakku, to when she left Jakku, to when she went onto Luke Skywalker's island, and then here we are in The Rise of Skywalker. All of that together is only 1 year. It's kind of crazy to think that the sequel trilogy, if you think about it, it's really only 1 year long. When you look at the original trilogy, there are time jumps with every single film. I believe that if you look at Star Wars A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, if I can recall correctly, I believe it's a 3-year time jump, if I'm not mistaken. And then when you go into The Empire Strikes Back and it jumps to Return of the Jedi, it's 1 year. So at the very minimum, the original trilogy was worth 4 years. Whereas in this scenario, it's literally just 1 year. But anyways, guys, I would love to hear your, opinion on Rey being stronger than Anakin and Disney's strategy about all of this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.